Sarah was excited. It was finally time to plan her summer trip. She had been saving money all year for this adventure. As she sat at her desk, she opened her laptop and started to dream about all the places she could go. Where should I go? Sarah wondered aloud. She looked at a world map on her wall. There were so many choices. Should she visit the beaches of Thailand? Or maybe explore the ancient ruins of Rome? The possibilities seemed endless. Sarah decided to make a list of her top 3 destinations. 1. Paris, France. 2. Tokyo, Japan. 3. New York City, USA. She knew she needed help to decide, so she called her best friend, Tom. "Hey, Tom," Sarah said when he answered the phone. "I need your help with something." "Sure, what's up?" Tom replied. "I'm planning my summer trip, but I can't decide where to go. Can you help me choose?" Tom was happy to help. "That sounds fun. Tell me about your options." Sarah explained her 3 choices to Tom. She talked about the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the busy streets of Tokyo, and the bright lights of New York City. "They all sound great," Tom said. "But what's most important to you on this trip? Do you want to see famous landmarks, try new food, or experience a different culture?" Sarah thought for a moment. "I think I want to experience a different culture and try new food. I've always been interested in Japanese culture, and I love sushi." "Sounds like Tokyo might be the best choice for you," Tom suggested. Sarah felt excited. "You're right. Tokyo it is." Now that Sarah had chosen her destination, it was time to start planning the details. She opened a new document on her computer and made a to-do list. 1. Book flights. 2. Find a place to stay. 3. Make a list of things to see and do. 4. Learn some basic Japanese phrases. 5. Check if I need a visa. 6. Get travel insurance. Sarah started with booking her flights. She searched online for the best deals and found a good price for a round-trip ticket to Tokyo. She used her credit card to pay for the tickets and felt a rush of excitement as she clicked Confirm Booking. Next, she needed to find a place to stay. Sarah looked at different options: hotels, hostels, and even apartments for rent. She decided to book a small apartment in a neighborhood called Shibuya. It was in the center of the city and close to many attractions. "This is perfect," Sarah said to herself as she booked the apartment. Now it was time for the fun part, making a list of things to see and do in Tokyo. Sarah spent hours researching online and made a list of places she wanted to visit. Tokyo Tower, Sensoji Temple, Shibuya Crossing, Harajuku District, Tsukiji Fish Market, Ghibli Museum, Meiji Shrine, Tokyo Disneyland. Sarah was getting more excited with each item she added to her list. She couldn't wait to explore all these amazing places. The next day, Sarah went to the library to find some books about Japan. She wanted to learn more about Japanese culture and some basic phrases. She found a beginner's guide to Japanese and started practicing right away. "Konnichiwa," Sarah said slowly, reading from the book. That means hello in Japanese. She spent the next few weeks practicing simple phrases like thank you, arigato, excuse me, sumimasen, and where is doko desu ka? Sarah knew these phrases would be helpful during her trip. As her departure date got closer, Sarah realized she needed to check if she needed a visa to enter Japan. She went to the Japanese embassy website and found out that she could stay in Japan for up to 90 days without a visa. "That's great news," Sarah said, relieved that she didn't have to apply for a visa. The last thing on her to-do list was to get travel insurance. Sarah knew it was important to be protected in case anything went wrong during her trip. She compared different insurance plans and chose one that covered medical emergencies, lost luggage, and trip cancellations. With all the main planning done, Sarah felt both nervous and excited. This would be her first time traveling so far from home by herself. She decided to call her parents to tell them about her plans. "Mom, Dad, guess what?" Sarah said when they answered the phone. "I've planned my summer trip. I'm going to Tokyo." Her parents were surprised but happy for her. They asked her many questions about her plans and gave her advice about staying safe while traveling. "Remember to always be aware of your surroundings," her dad said. "And make sure to try lots of delicious Japanese food," her mom added. Sarah laughed. "Don't worry, I will." To calm her nerves, Sarah decided to join an online forum for travelers going to Japan. She introduced herself and shared her travel plans. Within hours, she received friendly messages from people all over the world who had visited Tokyo or were planning to go. "You're going to love it," wrote one user named Mark. "Make sure to try the ramen at this little shop near Shibuya Station. It's the best I've ever had." Another user, Lily, gave Sarah tips on using the Tokyo subway system. "It looks complicated at first, but you'll get the hang of it quickly. Just remember to always keep your ticket until you exit the station." Reading these messages made Sarah feel more confident. She realized that many people had taken similar journeys and had wonderful experiences. If they could do it, so could she. As the weeks passed, Sarah prepared for her trip. She bought a new suitcase and started thinking about what to pack. She made a packing list. Comfortable walking shoes, light, breathable clothes. It would be hot in Tokyo in the summer. Camera, travel adapter for her electronics, Japanese phrase book, passport and travel documents, portable charger for her phone. The night before her flight, Sarah couldn't sleep. She was too excited thinking about all the adventures that awaited her in Tokyo. She imagined herself walking through busy streets, eating delicious sushi, and making new friends from all over the world. Finally, the big day arrived. Sarah woke up early, double-checked her suitcase, and headed to the airport. As she waited to board her flight, she sent a quick message to Tom. "About to board my flight to Tokyo. Thanks for helping me choose. I'll send you lots of pictures." Tom replied quickly, "Have an amazing time. Can't wait to hear all about it when you get back." As Sarah settled into her seat on the plane, she felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. The flight attendant announced that it would be a 13-hour journey to Tokyo. Sarah took a deep breath and reminded herself that this was all part of the adventure. During the flight, Sarah struck up a conversation with the person sitting next to her, an elderly Japanese woman named Yuki who was returning home after visiting her grandchildren in America. Yuki was delighted to hear that Sarah was visiting Japan for the first time. She spent the next few hours telling Sarah about her favorite places in Tokyo and giving her tips on Japanese etiquette. "Always remember to take off your shoes when entering someone's home," Yuki advised. "And never stick your chopsticks straight up in your rice. It's considered very rude." Sarah listened intently, grateful for this unexpected lesson in Japanese culture. She felt like her trip had already begun, even though she was still high above the Pacific Ocean. As the plane began its descent into Tokyo, Sarah looked out the window at the sprawling city below. She saw clusters of skyscrapers, winding rivers, and patches of green parks. In the distance, she could make out the cone-shaped silhouette of Mount Fuji. The plane touched down smoothly at Narita International Airport. As Sarah gathered her belongings and prepared to disembark, she felt a surge of adrenaline. This was it. She was finally in Japan. Walking through the airport, Sarah was surrounded by signs in Japanese and English. She followed the crowds to passport control, where she presented her documents to a stern-looking officer. To her surprise and delight, she managed to say konnichiwa and arigato to the officer, who responded with a small smile. After collecting her luggage, Sarah made her way to the train station. She had researched how to get from the airport to her apartment in Shibuya, but now that she was here, it seemed more complicated than she had imagined. She stared at the colorful map of train lines, feeling a bit overwhelmed. Just as Sarah was starting to worry, she remembered Yuki's parting words: "If you ever feel lost, don't be afraid to ask for help. Japanese people are very kind to visitors." Taking a deep breath, Sarah approached a station attendant and asked in her best Japanese, "Sumimasen, Shibuya eki wa doko desu ka?" "Excuse me, where is Shibuya Station?" The attendant smiled and patiently explained which train Sarah needed to take. He even helped her buy the correct ticket from the vending machine. As Sarah boarded the train to Shibuya, she felt a sense of accomplishment. She had successfully navigated her first challenge in Japan. Looking out the window as the train sped towards Tokyo, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning of her adventure. She thought about all the experiences that awaited her, the sights she would see, the food she would taste, the people she would meet. There would be challenges, of course, but Sarah felt ready to face them. After all, every challenge was an opportunity to learn and grow. As the Tokyo skyline came into view, Sarah's heart swelled with excitement and pride. She had dreamed of this moment for so long, and now it was finally here. Her summer trip had begun, and she couldn't wait to see what the next 2 weeks would bring. Sarah smiled to herself, thinking, "This is going to be the adventure of a lifetime." The end.